intellectual property and the related management of intellectual property is one, if not the most important element of technology transfer. Technology transfer, on the other hand, is the key element for the future of each company. No company today, and certainly not in the future, no matter how big it is, will have enough size and enough resources to do all the R&D and the research and the development of technology they will need for their products. I will make an example in order to illustrate this. For example, cancer research. They found out in cancer research that the cancer cells are not a single defect in the respective cell, but in fact, if somebody has cancer, they have hundreds, if not thousands, of defects in the respective cell. Now, this means that you cannot come up with a single medicine to cure this cancer defect, but you have to work on the cells at various different sites. Now, this means that different research groups worldwide will have to do the job. So you will have one research team maybe sitting in India, one other research team maybe sitting in Düsseldorf, and the other in Turkey, in Ankara, or wherever in the world, and they will work together in order to accomplish, to provide this medicine. Now, how can you do this? How can you realize that after all of this research of these different groups and different companies, a single medicine will be the result, and also the exploitation of the business thereof will be evenly or correctly distributed between these various players? This can be done only by means of IP, because IP is much more than the protection of an idea. IP allows you to do transactions with intellectual property. You can do contracts, you can do licensing, you can do various things with it, and all of this is not possible if you don't have intellectual property rights. So, for the future, even more than it is already true today, companies will have to work together, they will have to share their technology, and this can be done and accomplished only if you have it structured and ready for transaction by means of IP. Successfully licensing, and I'm talking about licensing out and licensing in, is something what is not easy to accomplish. We have to deal with several problems. One problem is the so-called not invented here problem. Many companies, particularly the bigger ones, still today have reluctance in licensing in technology from small entities, from sole inventors, from small companies, from spin-off companies. They just don't rely on them, they just don't trust them, and therefore they are very, very hesitant in order to adopt technology. They think that only what they invented by themselves is good, so good that it can be implemented really in a product. So the key to do this business successfully is to set up a whole set of relationships. If companies do a successful licensing program, they very often and typically have long-lasting relationships. Take a university research department for whatever technology. If they were successful in licensing out a certain technology they developed once to a certain industry partner, then there is a very high chance that if they have an improvement or a new product or a new portfolio to license, that then the same licensee is eager and prepared to license it again. So many of the big successful licensing companies, if they have something to license out, they are already knowing whom to contact in order to license this new portfolio. So for me, the key element and the key success factor is to establish a reputation that the technology you are producing is working, it is successful, and it is reliable. And only if you have this trust relationship really there, then you can expect that you can do successful licensing business. Otherwise, it is very difficult.